Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, I don't know. I guess that's a relative term. I'm actually feeling a little bit better today. My voice is still a little bit jacked up, but uh, I can think a little bit clearer. Um, Obviously, the market crashing, so that sucks. Uh,
I mean,
no, you know what? To be honest, I'm just kind of like, whatever. I'm just like, okay, but I understand we have a responsibility to the subscribers. So that's what I care about more. I mean, my messages are just blowing up. Everybody wants to know what to do. So for me personally, I lost 7 figures off my account. Oh well.
fuck it.
I mean, honestly, dude, you know what I mean? Because like I'm approaching this as an investor, like I'm working for money. Like I'm not trying to live off my investment, right? I didn't put my rent money in there.
Yeah.
So you know what? My view in 3 years or 5 years from now hasn't changed. Yeah, I lost 7 figures, well more than just 7 figures off my account, but it'll come back. My view for the end of 2018 hasn't changed. So anyway, that's my viewpoint. But like I said, I understand we have a responsibility. I'm getting blown up with messages, and so that's why, instead of trying to like answer every single one, it just makes sense to try and like address it on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing a couple of videos. I got a couple videos I want to do back to back to back right now. But I thought maybe the DU 101. Boyce hit me up this morning, and then I saw he's going live right now trying to address it. I feel bad. Maybe I didn't arm him with what he needed. But in any
Yeah,
case,
it's fine. Oh, also, whenever you get to it, probably won't be today then, or maybe later. I want to review our upcoming campaign stuff and also kind of our affiliate and general brand recruitment strategy and messaging and stuff like that. And I need to pay you. Obviously, the market crashed, so you probably need some cash. I'm kidding.
yeah, dude, this I don't know if you've seen like the news, but like California's had like the worst flu they've had in like 20 years or something like that. Like all the hospitals are like overflowing. They've been clearing out. There's in the news, it's been like they've been clearing out like storage closets to put more people in the hospital and stuff like that. Like,
Are you serious?
yeah, normally like 10 people die a year. They've had like 60 deaths already of people under 65. Um, it's like super bad. And we obviously haven't been in California, but we went home for Christmas, and my wife got it, and from Christmas all the way through New Year's for like 6 days, she never got out of bed, and my wife never gets sick. Like she's like
Wow.
she never gets sick, and then we flew here to Hawaii, and then my oldest daughter got sick, and she was literally in bed for 5 days. And I wasn't as sympathetic as I should have been. I'm like, come on, like stop complaining. I get it. You're sick, whatever, right? Then my youngest daughter got sick. So like one at a time, and I never got sick. My wife went and got me some Tamiflu just to make sure I didn't get it, but it didn't do the trick. And then I got it like a couple of days ago. And dude, I have never felt like this. And I
Uh-huh.
literally went to my wife and my oldest daughter last night, and I said, I apologize to you guys for not being sympathetic. I'm like, I had no idea how bad you guys really felt, and I'm so sorry. I'm like, oh my God. Like, so just craziness. But anyway,
Cool.
we're alive.
Okay, well, let's go live, and
I
then
was like, I was like, I was like wishing that missile would have just taken me out. I was like, cue the missile. Just bring the missile on. I'm done.
Alrighty. Cool. Well, we'll do it like normal. We'll go live, and then I'll click the live button, let you talk for a couple minutes while I share it out. You want me to throw this in Block United too?
um, yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Alrighty. We are live in 3, 2, and 1. Hey, Mark, how's it going? How have you been doing? I hear you've been a little under the weather as of late.
Yeah, man, it's been really tough. Anybody that's been watching the news has probably seen in California the flu is like the worst it's been in like 20 years, I think. They said literally hospitals are clearing out storage closets to make room to bring new people in. And man, my family, we're super healthy. and we hardly ever get sick, and unfortunately, it's taken us down one by one. So anyway, I've been a little bit down, which the market's down too. I think if anybody knows when they've been really sick, like when you're already sick, like the world is already against you, and it feels like so much weight already. Like you're already negative, and then like with the market like this, it's been a tough couple days. But to be honest, I'm kind of like whatever. I have the benefit of being in this market for a couple years now, and I've been through this so many times I can't even count, to be honest with you. I was gonna start adding them up, but I haven't even. There's so many I can't even add them up. So I've been through this so many times that I guess I'm just like whatever. So it's what I want to do is I want to just kind of come on, and I just want to address it for everybody that hasn't been through this so many times. So that's what I'm hoping to do. I want to add some perspective and hopefully give a little bit of confidence to everybody else.
No, definitely. I guess I think it's worth talking about, because for anybody who's been in for a while, it's kind of like, I guess it's easy to say markets are volatile. It's easy to say FOMO. It's easy to say, your emotions are going to get they're going to get the better of you. It's a whole different thing to experience it.
Yeah,
and
sure is.
And what are they saying? I mean, in the last 3 months, there's just been a massive explosion in terms of general user adoption. So I'd imagine for a lot of these people seeing like, every time you scroll over, so let me look at my Blockfolio app right now and watch like, thousands vaporize. We're down, we're up. It's like, But like for a lot of people, I can imagine that can be pretty stressful.
Yeah, so it's super stressful, I mean, we've had almost 50%, 40% of the market cap has been wiped out in the last week or so. I mean, we're talking about like $400 billion, $300 billion. It's a lot of money. And it's scary, a lot of people have watched their portfolios drop. I guess it all comes down to the perspective, right? So we know that nothing moves up in a straight line. We know that, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And so sometimes we run ahead and get 5 steps forward, and then we have to make 3 steps back. And so that's kind of where we're at today. The market got super heated, and it just ran up too quickly. And if you've been watching any of my videos or you've been reading whatever I've been putting out, you know that every time the market shoots up, I tell people, hey, look, like a correction is coming. So I don't want to say I called this. I mean, I guess maybe I do want to say I called this, because every time the market shot up, I've warned everyone, hey, look, okay, it's gone up. That's great. But just know that a correction is coming. So we did call it. We knew it was coming because we know it's just normal. Obviously timing it with the exact date, the exact time, how much it moves, we don't know that, which is why we don't try and get out at the top and get back in at the bottom, because we can't time it. But we do understand that when the markets move up super quick, that there's going to be a correction coming. And so that's where we're at.
I'm going to admit I was guilty of trying to time it. So about earlier this week, I took about 20 to 25% off the table in terms of alts and had it sitting in Bitcoin. And, when it first started, I was excited. I guess, though, you can never time it perfectly. So I basically blew my wad probably at about the 15 to 20% correction rate. And, it's corrected a little more, such is life. And then, with my luck, I started putting cash into Coinbase because, the price of Bitcoin has dropped significantly. It's been exciting, but it just so happens like my two-party my authenticator thing has gotten screwed up. So now I'm sitting on like a pile of Bitcoin, in Coinbase that I can't get out to take advantage of these alts. And I've been watching it I'm like, on one hand, I want the market to fix itself. But on the other hand, I want it to wait long enough so that like Coinbase can fix the factor off problem. So I can move some Bitcoin in and like buy into Neo like at under $100 or something like that. But it's not going to stay?
Well, the problem with this correction is that it's being really caused by Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's the king. Bitcoin drives the market, and when Bitcoin rallies super hard, it typically sucks the life out of the alts. What we've seen over the last month or so is that Bitcoin has been moving sideways. So it hasn't been rallying, it hasn't been crashing. It's just been kind of doing this choppy move, and that's what's allowed the alts to really, really rally hard. And so what's happened now is with Bitcoin crashing, it's bringing the whole market down with it. So yeah, moving to Bitcoin wasn't what was going to save you this time. Moving to fiat would have been what would have saved you. However, I'm not advocating that, and I'm going to go out and just tell everybody right now, I have not moved out of any positions. Now, let me clarify that. I have a pretty good sized portfolio. About 10% of that portfolio is in what I call short-term, like trading. And I'm in and out of positions really quick with that. With that small percentage of my portfolio, I had stop losses set and I closed out all those positions. Okay, so that being said, but with the 90% of my portfolio that's in all these portfolios as you guys see it, not one single coin has been liquidated, not one single coin has been moved out. I don't advocate it. I don't believe you can do it. I don't believe you can do it successfully over a long period of time. So Charles gave it a try. I think he's tried it a couple times at this point. It hasn't worked out super good for him either time.
No, I mean it's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just I have a tendency to optimize a few things that may or may not be for the better.
Yeah. So what I believe is that we're investing in a technology of the future. We understand. I believe that I'm investing in a technology of the future. I believe that it's going to take at least 5 years before we see any of this technology really making it into the mainstream. It would have taken you 15 years. If you would have invested into Amazon in 1995, it would have taken you 15 years to really make that huge money in Amazon. So I'm in this for the long term, and whatever happens over these next couple of weeks does not change my viewpoint as to what's going to happen in 5 years from now. So you know what? The price went way up and I saw my account worth a lot of money. Cool. I don't care. I don't care about it because I'm not going to sell it. I'm waiting for 5 years. The price went down. I saw my portfolio crash. I don't care because I'm waiting for 5 years from now. So that's why every time we get on these videos and the prices go way up, I said, it's cool, but hey guys, look, it's going to come back down, and it doesn't really matter because it's in a couple years that we're really worried about this. So that's my viewpoint. And we always say, one, don't invest what you can't afford to lose. All right, that's rule number one. We talked about asset allocation and how you allocate your assets into different classes. And so, if I have $10,000 to invest or $100,000 to invest, maybe 20% of it I keep in cash, in dollars. Some of it I put into real estate. Some I put into the stock market, and some I put into speculative stuff like cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies, I notice I say cryptocurrencies in speculative investments because that's probably the riskiest asset class that we have. So I wouldn't want to put 100% of that. I wouldn't want to put my cash into that. I definitely wouldn't want to be putting my bill money, like my rent money, into that because it's the most risky asset class that we have. So it's all about allocating those assets, and that way, even if my cryptocurrencies go down 90%, well, I still have some real estate, I still have my cash, I still have my stocks accounts that are still going for me.
No, definitely. So, and I want to make a mention. I mean, when I said my 30%, I also have kind of followed your lead, Mark, and have had, about 15 or 20% for short-term trading. So, yeah, that is what it is. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this correction. Let's talk about what's going on, So here's an interesting one I just noticed, since I accidentally checked my portfolio, I looked up and I see that, despite everything going down, there are two positions that are just kind of blowing up, which doesn't seem to make any sense. Essentially, it's like Siacoin and Tron are just flying up there. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's probably just an aberration. Who knows?
That they're rebounding really hard right now?
I think this is a pump. I mean, Tron is up
12% on the hour, 4% on the day.
Yeah.
I mean, what happens is we have, all coins are going to follow this trend, and we call it. We have these averages. So it's 50-day averages, 200-day averages, 20-day averages, and what happens is they follow this, and whenever they go up too fast, they're going to overcorrect, and if they overcorrect, they're going to snap back and go back the other way, and so what happens is we're seeing a correction. That's fine, but some of them have gone up way faster than others, which means they're going to correct harder. Some of them have corrected harder than others, which means they're going to come back faster. So, that I think is what we're probably seeing with those, is that they had already corrected so fast that we're seeing a little bit of a bounce. But, just to put things into perspective a little bit, as bad as things are, the market is all the way down to where it was December 12th. So, I know if you've come in the market after December 12th, this is really bad for you. But if you've been in the market for, 2 months or 3 months, I mean, you're still way up, right? You're still way up. And so that's why for me, I'm like, I could lose 90% of my portfolio today and still be up like 4 or 5 times over my original investment. Even if the market crashed 90% today, now that would suck. I would hate to see all that money lose out, but I would still be up 5 or 6 times my original investment. So I'm like, well, I'm still good, right? And so, and if you got in before December 12th, you're basically sitting in that same boat. So, I just wanted to give you guys that perspective,
Oh, definitely. So let's talk, let's talk updates. I know you've mentioned you put some charts together. You were showing me earlier. Where are we at?
Yeah. So, if we want to look at a couple charts, I did want to talk about, a couple things. So like I said, one, we've seen the market drop all the way back down to where it was on December 12th. Which is bad, right? But it's really not that bad in perspective. It's not like it went back to where it was like last January. Another thing that we've been seeing is that this seems to be kind of a common trend where we see this sell-off happen every year right around this same time. So a couple charts. So this chart right here. Let me bring these up on my screen.
You're going to share your screen.
Yeah. She went to go yoga. Let's see here. I'm trying to bring this up. Okay, here we go. So this chart right here kind of shows where we were at the peak here, January 7th at 830 billion, and then all the way down to where we are now. This was actually put together last night. It's come down a little bit more at 450 billion. Now this red line, this horizontal red line right here, shows kind of where we are today versus where we were in the trend. So you can see back here it was December 16th. Now we've slid down here to about December 12th. So you can see this massive run up that we had right here. So we're still looking pretty good there. But my point of this chart is that you can see we had a peak on January 7th at 830 billion, and now it's dropped all the way down here. And I wanted to compare that against 2017, and you can see here we dropped on in 2017 on January 5th we peaked, and it dropped down to January 12th. A 34% drop. And if we go back the previous year, you can see right here on January 8th of 2016 to January 16th, we had a 20% drop. So kind of almost the same dates we've seen that. And for the last, I don't have these charts prepared, but for the last 5 years, or 4 years, I'm sorry, in the last 4 years, Bitcoin has had its lowest point of the entire year right around the same week. So for 4 years in a row, Bitcoin has had its lowest point right around this time. And as a matter of fact, in January of 2017, Bitcoin was around 750 bucks, 750, and it had gone all the way up to almost 20,000 by the end of 2017. So it did really good in that perspective. And so although this is somewhat kind of normal, I know it's scary, but I just want to give you guys that perspective. We did have a lot of bad news coming out that's really helped, I think, push this. So although some of it's just normal market cycles and market timing, there's been bad news. And so everybody wants to look for a reason, like what happened. And although we don't always have a reason, I think, like I said, this was normal market timing, but I think that there was bad news that really caused this. But some of the news, I think, is a little bit ridiculous. So for example, we had China that came out, and China came out and said, hey, we're going to ban, the cryptocurrency exchanges. It's like, well, China already banned it. In September, they banned ICOs. Then they came out and banned the exchanges. They've already banned it. I mean, China makes up almost no volume for the entire world.
Yeah, screw it.
The amount of volume that they do in the world is like inconsequential. So what they've done is they've said, hey, we're gonna block all websites that link to any type of exchanges. So like, if you guys don't know, China is a communist country. You can't access Google or Facebook or Amazon from China. They block access to that. So what they're saying is they're going to increase their blocking of any type of cryptocurrency exchanges. But okay, you've already banned it. It's already illegal. I mean, you have no volume in the world. What difference does it make, right? So that news came out, and I think a lot of people took that really negative. But in my opinion, it's like, so what? There's no volume anyway. Then we had Korea come out, and Korea said that they were going to increase regulations on their cryptocurrency exchanges. And let's take a look at that. So what they really said they were going to do is they were going to make all the exchanges enforce what we know as KYC and AML, know your customer, anti-money laundering rules. Now, if you're watching this from the United States or from Europe, you know that in order to open up an exchange, you have to put your name and your address and all that stuff in there. So this is basically what Korea is saying, that their exchanges are going to have to start doing that now. So, okay, that we already do that. That's fine. They should do that. So I don't see that as being that bad of news. We also had another piece of news that came out that the German leaders came out and said that, hey, the whole world needs to get together in a unified front and help regulate Bitcoin. And I think the market didn't like that. This German leader is saying, hey, everybody needs to get together and work together. Okay, sure. What fairy tale is that going to happen in?
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one, I guess.
How do the world governments work together in anything? I mean, we're talking about massive things like terrorism. We can't even get the governments to work together on something like that. We're really going to get the governments to work together and Bitcoin regulations, in any kind of regulations? I mean, come on, right? So you got to look at this news, and you got to kind of parse through this news and figure out what is it really and what does it really mean to the market. And so those were the three catalysts that I saw, and I think all of them are just like, okay, I get it. Now, they did affect the market, don't get me wrong, but you have to decipher, is it really news that's really going to affect it? Like, let's say, for example, we got news that like Coinbase came out and said, okay, we're shutting down. No more money can come into the market anymore. Well, that would be pretty serious news if that were to come out, right?
Yeah.
But if it's news that says, hey, Korea, we're going to start enforcing, know your customer regulations, what does that really mean? Like, right? So you have to understand what the news is, I guess, is my point.
Yeah, good point.
So, anyway, so that's the bad news. I think it was compounded with the time of the year. It was compounded that we had such a hard run up that we needed this correction, and you kind of had these three things, kind of come together. But I think the big thing that everybody's asking is, how much farther is it going to go, and is it time to buy right now? Right? I think that's what I've been hearing. So what I would say to that is, I don't think it's time to buy yet. And I know that we want to be contrarian, and I know we want to buy when there's blood in the streets, so to speak, right? But we also never want to try to catch a falling knife. So we want to let the markets fall and settle, right? I always say, like, we don't want to risk money. We don't want to lose money. So, like, we want to wait for the market to settle and show a little bit of an uptrend before we get back in. Now, will we miss out on a little bit of profit by doing that? Yes, we will. But we'd rather miss out on a little bit of that profit at the bottom than risk losing even more. So we're not there yet. It looks like the markets are settling. I think the selling pressure is really leveling out right now, but but we could potentially see a little bit more. So we're probably going to wait another day before we jump back in really hard, you know, and go. So I would just say that let's just wait. What we'll do is when we see the market stabilize and start to make new uptrends, we'll come out and give some new buy up to prices. That's what we've done historically. So just wait for that.
Yeah, well, it seems like Bitcoin is kind of settling in. You know, people were concerned it'd break the $8,000 barrier, and it's hit 9,000 a few times and bounced back up. I'm looking at it's back up to 10,000 right now. So, you know.
Yeah, I think you could still have a leg lower. I'm not convinced it's found its footing yet. I think I wouldn't be surprised to still see it hit that 8,000 mark. That I talked about 8,000 or 9,000 when Bitcoin was at like 15,000. And I told people, look, I wouldn't be surprised to see it hit 8,000 or 9,000 before we see it hit 25,000. And I've said that multiple times on these recordings, so I hope you guys have heard that. So I still won't be surprised to see it hit there. So I think I don't think we've confirmed that we're in an uptrend yet. That's why I'm not recommending that we buy yet. So
yeah, that makes sense.
I'm recommending that we watch. I think it's making a bounce, but it could be a little bounce before one more leg lower at this point. So we're going to wait another day before we make any confirmation. But I just want to kind of end this with a little bit of reassurance that this has not changed my outlook for 2018. I still believe the market will be over $3 trillion by the end of the year. I still believe the strong fundamentals are still there, right? We still have the institutions coming in. We still have these ETFs and things in process that I believe will be coming in 2018. I still believe the market is going to be at the end of the year where we thought it was. I just think that if you can't stomach these drops, then you need to be in the stock market where you can hope to make 35%. You know, you'll never lose more than a couple percent, but you're never going to make 35%. If you want to swing for home runs and you want to make 1,000%, then you got to be prepared to stomach these downturns. I mean, you can't have both.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You can't have all upside with no downside. So, you know, get ready for these drops. If you want to wait until the coast is clear, you want to wait till this choppiness, this volatility has subsided, then you're going to miss out on the upside that's there. So either you're in it and you're prepared for it, or you're not. And I'll kind of want to end it with this one statement, which is what I say every time. And I'll probably put out 15 videos on volatility, because every time this happens, I put out another video. And I always say the same thing. If you're uncomfortable, if you're losing sleep at this point right now, that means you have too much money in the market.
Yeah, good point.
Okay? If you're stressed out, if you're losing sleep, you have too much money invested. When the market rebounds, pull some money out. Okay? Don't put in more than you can afford to lose. Don't put your rent money in there. Only put in money you can afford to lose. Put $400 in on these positions. If you lose it, you don't care. We're in it for the long term. So wait for a rebound and then rebalance your portfolio.
So this is interesting. I'm just sitting here hanging out, and I've been watching this Tron thing that I told you earlier. So I decided to roll the dice, and I sold about 43,000 coins. I don't know if this is a pump or not. This will be fun if it is. We'll see. Just having some fun. No, sorry, I'm getting distracted. No, so great, Mark. That's great advice. Yeah, ultimately, I agree with you. From a long-term perspective, it's a volatile market. These things happen. For anyone who's got some time on their hands and wants some entertainment, watch Tron. Something's going on. You know, people. It's been a fun ride.
So if you
Maybe.
want to have fun, you can listen to Charles. If you want to feel better, I recommend shutting the computer off. Don't go on to CoinMarketCap and refresh and refresh and refresh. Take a deep breath. Go for a walk. Turn it back on in 2 days from now. All right, that's what I recommend. So if you want to have fun, go ahead and have fun and keep refreshing and make some moves. That's obviously one way to play it. I recommend shutting it off. Hey, we're in this for a year or two. Don't worry about the next couple of days. But either way, just know that by the end of the year, we're going to be in a much different position.
Cool. Well, hey, Mark, if you want to sign off, that's fine. I got about 5 minutes to kill before my next meeting, so I'm just going to stay on and just kind of investigate this Tron situation and see if it's a worthwhile endeavor or not to pull the trigger. Alrighty?
Okay, guys.
Alrighty. Take it easy.
Bye.
So I am still here, and let me refresh my screen. I'm going to share my screen. This has been interesting. You know, everyone knows of whales and everything, and the reality is I actually don't really day trade, but I am opportunistic, right? So everybody knows of the term whales, and I can't help but notice, hopefully people can see my screen, I've been watching Tron on the Binance side, and you know, in the past, you know, sometimes you win a few, sometimes you lose a few. But during our Facebook Live conversation, as you can see to the right, Tron just blew up. And we know given, and I'll be honest, there's no technical analysis going on here. This is literally just gut instinct. You know, I've been just looking at this. Oh my gosh, it won't even load. And if you actually look in the right-hand corner, it's now starting to tank. This is awesome. So while we're waiting for Tron to load, I basically got excited and just sold off about, looks like 46,000 units or 43,000 coins. And, you know, I've actually been, my initial thought was, let me go sell off on Tron. And I turned those coins into some Neo, some Ripple, some Stellar Lumens, and some Lisk on my account. So we're just kind of having some fun. Jeez. Looks like Binance is actually literally shutting down, or I can't even get this working. Let me try this again. Something's going on with Tron. Geez, since I've been talking, it's gone down. I'm just like watching. You can like see it. I don't know if you can see the corner of my screen up here, but it's literally just like overloading and dropping. This is fun. What am I doing? The internet is dying on my computer. Well, maybe you guys want to follow along on your screens, but we're looking at this Binance scenario here. Let's go back and see Tron. Wow. Yeah, this thing came down a bit. This thing definitely came down. We're at, looks like 52? Wow. Just watch it tank. Huh. That was kind of fun. So now comes the question, you know, how far is it going to go? You know, if I really want to be risky, I would sell my 43,000 units and then buy back maybe at, you know, when it drops to like, you know, 0.00005 or 0.00045. So curious. Let's crowdsource. You know, I literally, I've got 5 minutes before my next meeting. So if you want to, you know, let's put this to a vote. So the answer is you shouldn't, for people, this is not a long-term play. This is just an opportunistic, this was an opportunistic thing that popped up where literally I got on with Mark and I noticed Tron going up. And as part of noticing Tron increasing, I just thought, hey, let me go sell some at the top, to see if I could kind of catch the wave. Let me go to like a minute cycle. So I ended up pulling the trigger, I think, right around here. It actually went up a little more. But sometimes when you do this, it can keep going and going and going. You get left behind. So I'm not saying to sell Tron. I'm just saying I had some fun and decided to pull the trigger. And now we're trying to see if it's going to hold or if this thing was just going to jump back down to there. And this is literally pure luck. Yeah, down 17%. So now the question is, I mean, this is definitely some sort of a pump and dump. And this is the reality, too, why day trading is so dangerous in this space, because you've got organized groups. If you look at it, it seems like someone pumped, and then maybe, I don't know if it was the same group or a different group came in and tried to pull something, and hopefully no one got left holding the bag. Ugh. Well, I'm happy because I sold up here. And this is something like I wouldn't recommend that you follow this because this can truly could make your head hurt and it becomes a full-time thing. But sometimes something that I occasionally do, and this isn't a recommendation. This is, as Mark would say, I mean, as Mark and I disagree on this behavior. I will occasionally engage in risky behavior. And if I see something like this occur, I might dump a portion of my position, and then depending on how far it drops, maybe a 10 or 15%, just basically reuse the same cash and rebuy more coins. So let's say if, in this case, I bought some other coins because I don't know why. I felt there was more gains and I wasn't sure if it was a full pump. But this is a way to, maybe if I sold 43,000 coins, I buy at this place and I'd get 55,000 or something on that front. Questions, what exchange? I'm on Binance right now. So what I'm trying to figure out is I've got another 43,000 coins left. Is this an actual market recovery? Which if I sell the coins, then I'm going to be screwed because I'm going to miss out on the recovery gains. Or is this a pump? Actually, see now, okay, now this is interesting, right? It looks like the general market now is starting to recover also in addition to Tron. So I would say this here was a pump, and then now the general market trend has recovered. I'm just looking at my portfolio, and Bitcoin now it looks like the entire market has kind of gone back up 5% since the pump. Oh, and now it's kind of, coming on. What is the take on Tron? Yeah, we still actually have faith in Tron. This was not for anyone who's on, this was not a long-term position thing. This was just kind of me seeing this and taking a calculated short-term bet that this was a pump and that it would come back down. And, I'm trying to time the bottom, which, we say don't do it. So you look at it, right? I've already missed one bottom. Can I come back in at a different bottom to get back in? Who knows? Let's see. What do you think of BAT? We like basic attention token. I know the position's been hit pretty bad, but I think I still have coin-wise on the BAT side. Yeah, I've got about 4,000 tokens. So, wish they were worth more. But what are you going to do on that front? So let's see. Let's maybe take some questions. What exchange? In Binance, where does it say? Yeah, if you will. My thoughts on Tron right now is there's a fight between the believers in the tech and the greedies looking to pull profits. Translation, if you will, this and Steam are solving a serious problem. Now, I agree with you, Will, on that. From a long-term perspective, we're actually pretty bullish on Tron. I got in at a few points. One was at around 5 cents, and then it dropped, and I got back in at 3.5, and I think 4.25 cents. And, it went up to 25 cents or 30 cents, and it was great. And then it went down, and I didn't actually sell any of it, all along the way. This was just, literally, I don't momentum trade or play volatility personally. And what happened was I was on the call with Mark, and I noticed an aberration against the market. So I thought to myself, hey, maybe this is something going on, and maybe I can kind of catch a wave and get lucky. So yeah, so looking at Len's actually looking at candlesticks and stuff like that. Yeah, in terms of Eric asking about BitShares, we like BitShares a lot. We like it a lot, but sometimes we don't buy it at the right point. So I can show you. I mean, this is just my BitShares purchasing. Let me go take a look and look at my trade history. I go to BitShares. I'm actually really happy. I went really long on BitShares. Hold on, let's pull this up. Yeah, so if you look at me, I was buying BitShares at, a lot higher than what it was now. So, yeah. And then actually, speaking of market timing, you can see down here at the bottom, this was a bad experiment on market timing where I thought, like I said, this is actually what we call our model portfolio. So we just screw around. In this case, I thought we were timing some sells. So we ended up selling a bunch and then missing out on a bunch of gains, because if you look at it, we bought it for about 20% higher than what we sold for. So that's, your classic, buy low or buy high, sell low on that. So hopefully that answers your question. Just watching this Tron thing. What is the best and least expensive coin you suggest to buy? I mean, there's so much that goes into it, and yeah, there's so much that goes into it. So yeah, it looks like Tron has settled down a little bit. It appears there was some sort of a pump that occurred that was an aberration. It looks like, oh wow, Sidecoin's still going up too. It looks like things are actually coming back. So maybe Mark was, well, hard to say. The thing is, we're literally sitting here minute by minute, and we all know the market moves, much, much slower than that, right? So, between the last couple of hours, Bitcoin's right now up at 10,005. It's been as low as 9,002. Well, let's take a look at this. So I think at this point, I'm probably not going to sell any more Tron. I'm probably going to buy it back so I can just recreate, rebuild my position on that. So that'll be kind of exciting. And now where before I had, I sold 43,000, I had 86,000 on this little pump, I'll be up to probably 90, hopefully 99, 95,000 Tron coins just because I got lucky. That's exciting. Cool. Yeah, watching minute charts will drive me bonkers. Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm actually out of time. I've got a 2:00 meeting, but I thought I would just stay on for a bit, have some fun. It's very seldom that we actually catch a live pump and dump going on, and it looks like we were able to. And equally seldom, it's hard enough to catch the pump and dump. I'll be honest, this time I made a few bucks, it looks like, catching the pump and dump, but we lose. You saw the other example of BitShares where I thought I caught a pump and dump on it, and I ended up losing 20%. So, like I said, it's probably much better to buy and hold and do what Mark says and keep your blood pressure low. And this is just purely for entertainment value. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. Be safe. Do what Mark says. Deinstall Blockfolio. Go enjoy the weather. It's probably sunny outside. Go do something nice. And have a good day. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.